Hi, VencoreWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Wednesday, February 24th. A powerful storm is moving northward today from the Tennessee Valley this morning to over the Ohio Valley this afternoon and then into the western part of New York State by later tonight. While we're quite cold right now here in the I-95 corridor, we'll certainly end up being in the warm sector. On this particular storm system, temperature should jump later on today into the early part of tonight, perhaps reaching 60 degrees in some parts of the southern mid-Atlantic, and there will be some thunderstorm activity breaking out later on today, and perhaps reaching severe levels, even all the way up to New York City. There is the threat for some severe thunderstorm activity late today, early tonight. Certainly, the greatest chance for severe weather seems to be down across southeastern Virginia, northeastern North Carolina. But again, anywhere up and down the I-95 corridor from D.C. to Philly to New York City, there can be some severe thunderstorm activity late today, early tonight. Of course, we'll monitor all of that closely over the next several hours. Severe thunderstorms could bring some torrential downpours, strong wind gusts, possible hail, and even some isolated tornadoes. This is the very latest map coming out of the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma, for the possibility for severe weather later today. Again, the greatest threat probably across southeastern Virginia, eastern North Carolina. But notice now, the threat all the way extends up to the New York City region, pretty much the entire I-95 corridor, all the way up to, again, the New York City metropolitan region. This would be anywhere from 4 p.m. to about 11 p.m., the typical late afternoon, early evening, a favorable period for potential thunderstorms. And again, the severe thunderstorm possibility exists all the way up to New York City. Well, we have a lot to talk about over the next few minutes. We'll kind of focus in on why there is indeed a severe thunderstorm threat for much of the I-95 corridor. This is the latest surface map. First of all, we have a rapidly intensifying storm system this morning over the Tennessee Valley. It will move northward over the Ohio Valley, reaching New York State later tonight. We here in the I-95 corridor region from New York City down to Philly, down to D.C. Cold right now, but notice this frontal system off the coast. That will push in from the southeast to the northwest. Temperatures could jump 10 to 15 degrees in just a couple hour time period late today. First across the Delmarva Peninsula, then southern New Jersey, D.C., then Philadelphia, perhaps well into the 50s in the southeastern part of Pennsylvania by the end of the day. 60 degrees or more possible in D.C. across the Delmarva Peninsula, and certainly up to 50 degrees by the end of the afternoon possible in New York City. And that warmer air moving in from the ocean will help fuel some of the possible thunderstorms that should form later today into the early part of tonight. Well, here's the latest radar loop. This particular mosaic comes from the University of Wisconsin. Just an impressive precipitation shield. Notice a spin in the radar echoes right here over the western part of Tennessee, southwestern Kentucky. This is where the surface low pressure system exists right now. It'll drive up to the north and east over the next several hours. Again, intensifying rapidly along the way, moving rather rapidly as well. Excuse me, reaching western New York State by later tonight. On the cold side of this storm, perhaps 3 to 6 inches of snow in the Chicago area, even more than that across northern Indiana into places like Detroit. Meanwhile, on the warm flank here, thunderstorms already started to break out in the southeastern part of the country. That warmer air will advance northward along the coast today, and it'll replace the current cold conditions here in the I-95 corridor. Again, temperatures could actually reach 60 degrees later today in D.C. across Delmarva Peninsula, well up into the 50s near the end of the afternoon in southeastern Pennsylvania. So that cold air that currently exists will erode away. Warmer air moves in off the ocean from the southeast to the northwest, all setting up for the potential of strong to severe thunderstorms late this afternoon, early tonight. Well, let's quickly go through some maps. This is actually from the very latest 12Z NAM, the North American Mesoscale Model. Just came out over the last several minutes here. The very latest mesoscale model And this is a look at the 500 millibar pattern, and we'll focus in on some of the factors why severe thunderstorms are indeed possible all the way up the I-95 corridor from D.C. to New York City later today, early tonight. First of all, very vigorous upper level low pressure system. We're looking at the current time here. This is what is in existence right now here. Again, the I-95 corridor from D.C. to New York City, right in this region right here. We have a very deep upper level low over the Tennessee Valley. Let's now jump ahead to the forecast map for early tonight. And here we go. From the 12Z NAM, the upper level low moves northward to the southern part of the Great Lakes region. Notice a tilt in the axis here of the upper level trough. It takes on a negatively tilted trough axis by later on today. Negatively tilted meaning it extends from the northwest to the southeast. Typically it's more of a positive tilted trough, at least in the beginning stages of a storm system. But a negative tilted trough in the upper part of the atmosphere leads to a vast amount of upward motion to the north and east, right in this I-95 corridor region. So the upper level low is in a perfect position for the possibility of strong thunderstorms later today in the D.C. to Philly to New York City region. Well, next we'd like to take a look at the upper level winds. A jet streak is often a key player in any potential severe weather breakout. This is the forecast map for actually the very current conditions right now. Again, from the 12Z NAM model. Here's a jet streak right here over the southern part of the U.S., the northern part of the Gulf of Mexico as of this morning. Now let's jump ahead to the early part of this evening. And here we go, the forecast map for the early part of this evening. That jet streak rides to the north and east, and again, this helps to contribute to upward level motion right in this region to the north and west of the upper level jet streak. Again, in D.C., Philly, New York City, another factor leading to the possibility of severe weather late today, early tonight. Well, let's now take a quick look at the NAM surface model forecast for later tonight. This is actually the current condition here right now, and I wanted to point out this particular line right here. This is the 850 millibar pattern in terms of temperatures. It's actually a thickness, but notice where this red line is right now, and the blue line is way up here over New England, but see where this jumps over the 12-hour period. Let's now jump ahead to the 12-hour forecast for early tonight. And here it is, the forecast map for early tonight. That red line, or the 10-degree Celsius line at 850 millibars in the lower part of the atmosphere, jumps way to the north from the central part of Virginia, and that is telling us that the warm air will indeed surge northward along the coast, reaching not only D.C. but into Philadelphia and New York City by the early part of tonight. So several ingredients favor the possibility of some strong to severe thunderstorms, even as far north as New York City. We have the strong negatively tilted upper level trough axis. We have the upper level jet streak, and we have some warm air surging northward later today into the early part of tonight. Well, let's end with a couple of high-resolution forecast maps for late today, early tonight. This is from a high-resolution model called the HRRR, and it is a forecast map for 4:15 this afternoon. Here's the D.C. metro region right here. Notice right here a line of pretty impressive-looking cells here. This could be the time period for strong thunderstorms, perhaps even severe thunderstorms to close in on the D.C. metro region. Again, this is 4:15 p.m. forecast from the very latest high-resolution model. Notice here across the border in southern central Pennsylvania, an area here looking rather impressive. That heads towards southeastern Pennsylvania for the early part of the evening. Again, this is a 4:15 forecast map, perhaps strong and severe thunderstorms closing in on the D.C. metro region at this time. And finally, here's a forecast map from the same high-resolution model for 6 p.m. this evening. Indeed, that line that looks very impressive right here now at this time closing in on southeastern Pennsylvania, Philly, right in this region right here. So again, there's potential for strong to severe thunderstorms to hit the DC metro region sometime after 4 p.m. and perhaps sometime after 6 p.m. in the southeastern part of Pennsylvania, and certainly later on New York City is in the threat zone as well. Stay tuned to VencoreWeather.com later today for possible updates. That's it for now. I'm meteorologist Paul Dorey.